People who are nervous and shy think that it's all about them. And it's like looking on your phone, the person you see is you. Focus your attention on your audience. Sena was like a big guy. His death was like a huge shock to me. My wife was going to do an event there. We went to check out the place. When we got to the Dodoa Road, I was thinking, should we just drive down to Adenta to say hello to the old lady? Then myself, I said, well, no problem. We can talk to her another time. And we went back the same route. And then in the night of that day, Mommy died. When I have to do something, I do it now.
What was the plan growing up? What did you want to become?
I wanted to be a pilot when I was a small boy. And then at some point when I got to secondary school, I wanted to be a doctor. But then my results came out after the O-levels. My best grade, I think, was a D in chemistry.
Top 5 tips for someone who is trying to go into interviewing people.
The first 3 come. If you're calm, you're less likely to be nervous. How do you relax?
Hello and welcome to Connected Minds podcast. My name is Derek Abaite. And I'm glad to have you here again. And if you make it to the end of this episode, don't forget to leave our comment below and let me know you are one of the people that are connected. Remember, on the 29th of August at the British Council, we have our first live event coming up. This seminar is not just for people who have businesses. Everyone can attend the session. And it's happening at 3 p.m. at the British Council in Accra. So I'm going to leave all the details in the description so you can get yourself a seat at the event. It's going pretty fast, so don't miss out. So today I'm speaking to somebody who has well over 20 years experience in broadcasting, host, event, journalism. Look, this man, I don't even know what sort of questions I'm going to ask because there's a lot of nerves here. He's done it. This is what he does for a living. I mean, what question am I going to ask this man that he's not going to have a quality answer to? He spends his life also interviewing people. But today, who is interviewing the interviewer? Let's make it happen. Stick with me and stay here. If you have been a lover of what Mr. Kafui Dey does, then you need to be here to watch this episode from now all the way to the end. And I'd like to say, welcome him to Connected Minds podcast. My name is Derek Abaite, and you are welcome to my studio.
It's a pleasure, Derek. Very happy to be here.
I have to say this story. Mm-hmm. If I don't say it, I'm not being appreciative enough.
Okay.
You've been very receptive to my phone call, to my messages, and you've advised me so much since you've been here today. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, and I'd like my viewers to know that you didn't make it as hard for me as it has been for other people. You know, you made me understand that, yes, little one, you also need to learn, and I'm here to support you. So I appreciate that.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah. Right, so what's my first question? How do we do this? I want your backstory.
Okay.
Let's start from the beginning. That young man growing up, how was home like?
Okay, so my earliest memory is playing with my big brother. My father bought us a car, and I would sit inside the car, and my brother would push me. The age gap between me and my big brother was 1 year, 5 months. I say was because he passed 5 years ago. And so my mother says, when I was in the stomach, my brother refused to walk. He walked on the day I was born. On the day I was born, my grandma was living with us and said, "Hey, young man, your time is over. Your kingship is over. Get up." And then I got up and I said, and he started walking. I mean, when she said get up, then he walked. That was the day I was born. We lived in different places. So my father worked in Senegal. My big brother was born in Senegal. He worked in Burkina. I was born in Burkina. We lived in Abidjan and came back to Ghana for a while. So a lot of movement. I remember a lot of movement when I was growing up, a young man. Another memory I have is a school in South Labadi Estate. And it's still there. I remember there were tires that had been stuck into the ground, and the children would jump over the tires to play. And those tires are still there. In fact, I'm going to take a photo one day and just post it on my socials. So happy moments. We always had a piano in the house. Our father was a musician. He played his organ in school and he composed as well. But I always had a piano. So everywhere I lived, there was always a piano in the house. And guess what now? Everywhere I go, I have a piano in my house because my father taught us, all of us. So good memories, movement, music, I would say.
How was your relationship with your brother like?
My big brother, he always looked out for me, even when I was older. And there's a picture of me and him standing, he's holding my hand, and I'm wearing girls' shoes. Let me give you the story. So I think my mother was expecting a girl.
Right.
Okay. So she bought the stuff ready for a girl. And then I popped out, and I'm sure in her mind, she says, "What? You are still going to wear those shoes?" So I'm wearing these girls' shoes, looking kind of cute, and he's holding my hand. He looked out for me. And not only for me, he looked out for so many other people. Because when he passed, first of all, I got a couple of surprises. I realized that a lot of the friends that I had were common to him. And then the people who expressed like pure grief, it just overwhelmed me. And then I found out that he was doing all kinds of things to help people out. He'd jump on a bus and travel all the way to Wa to go and visit one of our family friends, Auntie Mary Bapuro. She's a retired nurse. So Sena would do that. Sena would turn up at somebody's party, help these. There's a charity that looks out for premature babies. And Sena was like a big guy who was like part of the fundraising activities and things. So his death was like a huge shock to me. I remember when he died, we were called over to the house, carried his body to the morgue at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. And then I got back home and then couldn't sleep, woke up in the morning and I said, Sena died. Really? How? It's something that I don't understand. And it's still, I get memories of them because I'll be on a walk and then somebody comes up to me and says, Sena. I said, no, it's not Sena, it's Kafui. Because we looked alike and we spoke alike and everything. And I get reminders every day. If there's a song that will air and then it reminds me of him. There's a particular Cool and Gang song. Every time I hear it, I think of Sena. Yeah. And he had a lot of impact on people. A lot of impact on people. And I think he was, I think I appreciate him even more after he passed, which is a crazy thing to say. But I mean, that's how it is. Sometimes I feel guilty that, Charlie, I could have. And I knew he was very proud of me, very, very proud of me because anywhere I went and then I was with him, you say, that's my kid brother, And I kept thinking, but why? I'm old enough. Can't you call me a kid brother? But I realized that a younger brother is always a younger brother to an older brother, And that was his way of showing his, the love for me and everything. A great guy. Yeah. Really, really great guy. Yeah.
Yeah, those are really beautiful memories that you have of him. But something that really, hit me hard while you were speaking was the fact that you're a very nice man in the sense that, the things you do for people. And he seemed to also be that type of a person.
Yeah.
Where did you learn that from?
Our parents. My mother, my father. Apart from Sena, I have two other brothers. Yeah, younger than me. I was number 2 out of 4. Our parents, ever since we were young, when we were in Ghana, we always had somebody staying with us. It could be our auntie, it could be our grandma, it could be relatives who come to stay for the holidays. And I guess that comes from the old style of family where you had not just the nuclear family, but extended family always part of you, And just my mom was kind to people, There was a young girl who came to live with us when we were in Adenta who got pregnant by one of the boys around, and all my mother's friends in the Snit flats told her to let the girl go. She's gotten pregnant, let her go. And my mom says, no, I'll keep her. And when the baby comes, we will look after the baby. That baby is now in the first year of university. Yes, my mother has passed now 13 years, 12 years. I was able to help her mother, the pregnant one who had a child, go to school. She's now a caterer, and my mother just made sure that we supported her all the way to now, So she was a very kind person. And my father too he respected everybody. I remember on the day of after he died, I would meet people who would say, oh, okay, they've been listening to me on GTV and they're wondering, am I related to Mr. Day, Foreign Affairs? I say, yes. Oh, they almost like break down. I said, that man was a good man. He used to say hello to us at the security gate. When he comes to work, he has time for us and he helps people out. And so I think it's all that. My parents were wonderful people. They showed you how to deal with human beings. I remember one Rasta friend of mine, may he rest in peace, Jawadada, came to visit us at home in Adenta. When he knocked on the door, my father was in the hall. So he tells me that, so my father says, okay, come in. Who are you looking for? He says, Kafui. So Kafui's in the room, so he'll be here soon. I spent like 10 minutes. When I come out, Wadada and my father are having a hearty chat, and so we leave and he says, Charlie, your old man, I don't know, say he be Charlie cool like that. I said, why? So Charlie, I feel say as I enter the room, he go sack me because of my dreads. I said, no, my father is not like that, My father deals with everybody, as a human being. And so, yeah, just snippets of the kind of people they were, and I'm sure it affected us. Because my brothers are all very outgoing. Senyo after me, and then Victor Koshi, the musician. They're all like that. And I think Sena was like an extreme version of my parents together, like Pro Max, But we're all very people. Mm-hmm. So I'm not surprised that I'm a host, a TV presenter, an interviewer, because we like people. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you're growing up, probably before the age of 8 or 9,
mm-hmm.
when people in the family pass away, at that age, you don't feel it as much.
No, you don't.
In fact, nothing comes to your mind.
You can't understand death at 8.
At that age.
Yeah.
But as you're growing up.
And you think it's only old people who die. Uh-huh. Yeah.
But as you're growing up, it gets closer and closer and closer and closer to you. How does that change your perspective about life?
I never knew anybody who died until... Okay, so I was 9. I was 9 when my grandfather died. My father's father died. We went to the village for the funeral. I don't remember anything. And I was 9. Okay. So that was probably the first person I knew who had died. But it didn't mean anything to me because I had known him barely a year. Between the ages of 4 and 9, we went off to China. My father was posted to China. And we came back in 1980, and he died in 1981. I don't really remember him. I only remember stories that my father told me about his father. So the funeral was a blur. When our grandma died in 89, I was then 18, went to the village. I don't remember feeling sad or anything. The person whose death really shocked me was my mom. Because then in 2013, I was 41, going to 42. And on the day that she was going to die. I didn't know that she was going to die that day. We lived in Afienya, so we took the back route from Afienya to Dodowa. There's a hotel on the Dodowa Road, I think Dodowa Forest or something, because my wife was going to do an event there in the coming week. So we went to check out the place. When we got to the Dodowa Road, I was thinking, should we just drive down to Adenta to say hello to the old lady? Then myself, I said, no problem. We can talk to her another time. And we went back the same route. And then in the night of that day, Mommy died. Yeah, so now when I have to do something, I do it now. You think of somebody, you call the person. Charlie, Chess is the last time I see this guy, Chess more. Go visit the people. Because you don't know really. God willing, these things will work out, but things can also not work out. You understand? So, yeah, that changed me. Mm.
So I remember when I spoke with you, I think yesterday,
yes.
I WhatsApped you.
Mm-hmm.
And then the message I got back was, God willing.
Yes, always.
You just said it.
Yes,
now.
Always.
And then I read God willing.
Yes.
It kept me thinking.
Yeah.
for a very long time.
Always. We don't even know where we're going to eat for supper tonight. At least I don't know. So we don't know the future, really. So God willing. God is the controller of time. He holds the time in his hands, We're just passing through. There's always a beginning, there's an end. When they write your birth date and your death date, like my father is 1940 to 2015. So 1940, he didn't even know. He just came it came as a result of his parents coming together. But your life starts, the dash between the two dates is your life. Yes, from 1940 to 2015. The dash, what are we doing with the dash, Because the end date, we don't know, The end date, we don't know. And the beginning date, we had no control over, So what we can work on is the dash, So do what you can, do it well. Father of a good friend of mine, this is Vincent Assise. He used to be like a communications person for the NDC many years ago. And his son is my very good friend. He says, listen, it is better for you to do something and forget that you have done it than for you to not do it and then suddenly remember that, hey, I know do am. It's better for you to do it and forget that you have done it than to not do it and then suddenly remember that, hey, I know do am. And so do it now. I like the Nike slogan, just do it.
Just do it.
Yes, and I'll add now. Because you can just do it later on, but just do it now. Yeah.
And then your career. At what point did you think, this is what I want to do?
I have done different things in my life. Let me see, my first job, what I got paid for, this is going way back. Okay, so I finished university in 1990. 1993. So I was 21, going to 22. And because I play piano, I went up to various hotels. So I've played in various hotels. I've played in the Golden Tulip, which is now Lancaster. I've played in Labadi Beach Hotel. I've played in a little Thai restaurant in Airport Residential area. It's now a residential area, no longer a hotel, a residential space.
Right.
Yes. So I just play, the kind of music where you play in the lounge, or on the piano where people are having their drinks. You don't play too loud so that you don't disturb them. But you play something that is recognizable so that people can be enjoying themselves while they're drinking. So I did that, got paid for that. Okay, let me back it up a bit. When I was in university, I was a translator's assistant to my father. My father was a translator, French to English.
Okay.
Yes. And so he would get these documents from FAO, and I would help him to translate them. And this is the interesting thing. So we translate, he sends it off to the people, they bring the check to him, and then he comes and says, okay, so I've been paid. How many pages did you do of translation? I said, okay, I did 50 pages. Okay, so the rate is $10 per page. So 10 times 50 is what? I said 500. Boom. So that was my dad. Yeah, he'd pay you for the work you have done because you've worked with him. I assisted him. And he was very open about it. So I think that was probably my first job. When I was in university too, I used to sell shit off for my mother. So my mother was a caterer, and she made shit up, and would put it in the bottles. And I'll go to Commonwealth Hall and put it on the Potter's Lodge and then just market it, So I used to sell shit up for her. That was purely voluntary. I think I was paid in shito. Or good meals from the old lady, Yeah, so for the cash, that came from my dad with the translating job. And then when I finished university, I finished national service. I think I did some interpretation work in Ebri. So some of us language graduates who spoke French, because it was an international conference. One of my friends also spoke French and Spanish, but I did French. And we went off to Ebri and we did interpretation for the guests there and got paid. And then I added the piano stuff to it as well. Before I got my first job, which was a salesman with a building maintenance company called AccuWorks. My boss was my senior in school. When I was in Form 1 in 1983, he was in Upper 6th, so 6 years gap. And I remember I had after university, after national service, I did national service at the French department, University of Ghana. After I decided, I want to go into the corporate world, so I wrote letters. I wrote at least 100 letters 100. And back in the day, in 94, 95, that means I didn't have a computer. So you go to the communication center, and then you would have written your letter in longhand. You give it to the person, they'll type it, you look at it, it's good, you print it out, and then you envelope them, and you go to the post office, and you post, 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 and you post till you get to 100. So for me, it's really interesting and funny when I hear people, somebody gets my number. My number is everywhere. It's on Instagram. They'll call me and say, Charlie, I'm looking for a job. I want to tap into your network. If you can recommend me for a job. I said, fine. Yeah, it's okay. I can do that. But what have you done? How are you also looking for a job? The guy says, oh, I got laid off in April. Okay, yeah, so we are in July now. So how many applications have you sent out? A grand total of 1, 2, 3. Between April and July, the person sent out 3 applications. In an era where you have LinkedIn, you have internet, you have your own, I'm sure you have all the technology. And you sent out 1 letter a month, and you're looking for a job. I sent out 100 in a month. Guess how many responded? 3. 3%. Some of them responded after I got my first job.
Right.
Yeah. So I was sending all these letters, and my senior comes up to me and says, oh, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm looking for a job. So I'm sending out applications. So, well, I've just opened a company. So if you're interested, I'm looking for salesmen to train. So, yeah, that was my first job. I was a salesman, trainee salesman, with 2 other guys, another fellow Vandal, Commonwealth Hall, and then somebody from Tech, Katanga. So two Vandals and a Katagi in the office, stressing out our boss. So it was a partnership, our boss, my senior, and his partner, a lady. And that was the first time I was actually working for a woman. And we didn't understand why the woman should give me us orders. You know, it's 20, how old were we? We were like 24 years, 23, 24. Yeah. We stressed her a lot. I crashed my first car. It wasn't actually my car, it was a company car. And I hadn't learned how to drive well.
Wow.
Went and crashed the car. I think my boss gave me a royal knock on my head. I think he was scared that I was going to kill myself. So he was relieved that I didn't die. Yeah. But also learned how to use a computer for the first time, how to make a sales call. And this job was quite dangerous looking at it, because we had to climb buildings and look for faults on the roofs. What we sold was a roof system, a system that took care of cracks in the roof. So you paint over the cracks like a paint. Yep. And then it kind of sealed the cracks. The product was called Swepco. Yes. So we learned how to make proposals, look for clients, go visit them, make presentations. And then when we get the job, we'd supervise those who are going to do the installation. Yeah. So it meant climbing a lot of roofs. I don't think there's any tall roof building in Accra that I haven't climbed.
I see.
Golden Tulip. The Golden Tulip roof, when I climbed it, I was on top of the Golden Tulip roof, which is now Lancaster. And I was watching the trotters going by from Adenta to Accra. And I was thinking, what if Mommy, on her way to Accra, just passes by Golden Tulip, looks to the right and sees her dearly beloved son on the roof. Won't she have a heart attack? Won't her asthma come back? We climbed the post office roof, climbed the roofs at Tema, Sakumono, all those estate roofs. Kiseman, we climbed those. I fell through one in North Industrial area. Yeah, but didn't get to the ground. Managed to. Yeah, good adventure though. And meeting people, just getting into the whole corporate world. That was my first job. And that lasted for about 6 months. And I got a new job at a shipping company that took me to Kumasi. So this is a shipping company where I was trained in Takrady for 6 months. And that was great. My father sent me off to Takrady, and I had to go and stay with one of his classmates. So I had this beautiful place in the residence in Western Region, where when you get up in the morning, you open your door, you can see the sun coming out of the sea.
Okay.
Man.
It's beautiful.
Oh, what a beautiful sight. The second day was beautiful, and I was working in Takrady. That was for 6 months, and I came back to Tema, did 6 months, and then I was shipped off to Kumasi to go and open the new office. And that's how come I got my break into professional radio, commercial radio, because I got to Kumasi September 96, and then Capital Radio opened in July 37.
But really, what was the plan growing up? What did you want to become?
I wanted to be a pilot when I was a small boy. Every Ghanaian boy my age wanted to be a pilot. I think even now. And then at some point when I got to secondary school, I wanted to be a doctor. But then my results came out after the O-levels, and I don't think I did very well in the sciences. My best grade, I think, was a B in chemistry, and I had C's in biology and physics. And we came back. I did that in the UK. We came back to Achimota School. Achimota School didn't want to give me science because it wasn't competitive. And so I ended up doing economics, literature, and French. Economics was a new subject entirely for me. But because I was good at maths, it kind of worked. Wanted to be a doctor, so they changed. And then when I finished University of Ghana, I flirted with the idea of being like a lecturer. But then when money is running out, you have to look for a job that will pay you money. So I started applying for every company in Ghana, all the banks, all the airlines, all the government institutions. In fact, VRA accepted me after I had gotten my second job in Takoradi.
All right.
Yeah. But I ended up in Kumasi, which was great. I was in Kumasi for 3 years. And that exposed me to radio because I joined the radio station. But I was a salesman as well, traveling as far as Sampa. Sampa is where you can look out and see Côte d'Ivoire. And I was chasing cashew exporters because as a salesman, you're looking for business for the ships that call in Tema and Takoradi. So for the exporters, you're looking at cashew people, you're looking at cocoa people, you're looking at timber people. For the importers, you're looking at people who are bringing in used cars, used clothing from the Far East. So a lot of good international experience. And it was a multinational French company. So I was doing my radio part-time with that job.
But how did you get into the radio? Like, what happens?
Yeah.
What was the moment
I went for an audition. My background came from university. Second year in university, somebody set up a pirate station on campus. We thought it was legit, but later on I found out it was a pirate station. So the transformer kept moving. The transmitter kept moving. If the authorities felt that it was here, then they'll come, then the people will move. So when it got to Commonwealth Hall, I volunteered to be a DJ on the show. So I had a show where you do requests for people. So somebody from this hall wants a song for this person from this hall, and I'll play music. So I started out as a music DJ, okay? Right. Yes. And then when I got to Kumasi in 96, 97, we heard that there was a new radio station coming to town. So I went for an audition. So Capital Radio went for an audition, and I passed the audition, and so I got a job. But I was working full-time as a shipping guy. So I used to work maybe 6 to 8 on the radio station, go and do my work. At lunchtime, I'll come at the radio station between 12 and 1, do whatever I had to do. Then I'll go and close from the office at 5, and then come back to the station again, and come and do maybe 2 or 3 hours. Yeah. So I was doing about maybe 7 hours part-time in addition to my full-time job.
Your part-time job as a what?
I was a presenter on the morning show.
Okay.
I composed jingles for the station IDs for Capital Radio. I composed like commercial music for brands. So I remember Latex Foam had an advert. I needed an advert. We did it for them. Daku Farms. I wrote the music, composed it, sang it, put the message in it, sold it to them. They took it. So I was doing that. We were doing promotions, presenting promotions, music for the station. Yeah. So that's what I was doing.
And you learned all of this on the job?
On the job. As for my presenting, I'll never forget Dr. Fox. So Dr. Fox was a presenter of the UK Top 30. This is a chart show from the UK. And Capital Radio subscribed to Dr. Fox. So they would send the CDs to Kumasi, would play the show on Saturdays in the afternoon. Then I would go to the library with my friend Kosi Assis, and they would take the CDs that we had just played, go back home, listen to the guy. How did he introduce his show? How did he blend the music? How did he get interesting information about the people that were singing? So my education on presenting came from Dr. Fox. I'm telling you no lie. If I meet that guy, I'll buy him a beer. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that still used to work in those days where you were basically learning based on experience.
So I found a mentor, and I keep telling young people who really want can I have your number? I want to talk to you. You don't need to have a mentor who is even close to you. Because this Dr. Fox guy, I don't know him. We don't know him. All we had was that the CDs with him presenting his show is what we listened to. And then we said, we can do this. And then we'll apply whatever he did on the show Like there was something that was so nice. So you'll be talking, say the song, you speak before the singer starts singing. Otherwise, you're speaking over lyrics. You don't do that. Okay. You shouldn't speak over the lyrics. A lot of our DJs just sing over people's songs. It's not good. So maybe the song starts with like an instrumental intro. And so we would time it. And Dr. Fox speaks during that instrumental break, and then he finishes talking, and the music starts singing. The guy starts singing. So we tried it as well.
It's perfect.
Perfect. So you have to be very, very, very technical and precise, and we learned all those things from that guy. So that's why I learned how to present. Yeah, not just a radio, not just a talk, music show, but also talk show, how to interview, how to discuss, how to get interesting information. This was like the early days of the internet, where you had dial-up services. Dial-up, before the thing goes through. Slow connection. Yeah, but we did all that, in those we didn't think they were hard. We thought those were exciting times, actually. But compared to now, those were like hard times. But I wanted to be a really good presenter and look for the best person and just copy him. Copying is allowed in the world. It's only in school that they say if you copy, then they beat you up. Copying is allowed.
Look, I forgot the name of this man, but he's an Indian multi-millionaire. And his strategy is very simple. He just copy Warren Buffett's trading style.
Finish.
And he's becoming
but the guy has done it.
Yeah.
What again? Toyota copied Jeep for a long time before they became. They were copying Jeep cars and Jeep was suing them. They'll pay the money and then they'll go and copy again. Wow. Yeah, so Pepsi copied Coca-Cola. We know. Yeah. The Chinese car companies are copying the Japanese guys who are on top now. Yeah. The Japanese copied the Americans.
Yes.
Who probably copied the Germans or whatever. Yes, it's allowed. So yeah, I learned from Fox. And so that was my Kumasi time, 96 to 99. Came to Accra, worked with Choice FM for 2000, 2001. That's when we were going from a music station to a talk station. So it's when it's a talk station, then you start interviewing people.
Wait, hold on. At this point, you had made up your mind that you want to be on radio.
No. I was doing all this stuff part-time.
Wow.
It was a passion that I was just exploring.
I see.
I hadn't made my mind up that I was going to be on radio or be a presenter or interview people. Because I had a shipping job. I was a good job.
So you still maintained that job while moving from station to station?
Yes, good job. It was paying me good money, nice car, new car. You would drive it. When they change it, they'll change it. So that I was just doing this on the side. This is a side job. Yeah.
Let me stop you here for a minute. If you've been watching this show, I want you to subscribe and become part of the family. We are on a journey of changing the lives of people on this channel. And we appreciate you for being here. But if you haven't become part of the family, connect with us. Hit the subscribe button. Now let's carry on the conversation.
I hadn't decided I was going to be a radio presenter. I thought I was just going to be a commercial, a shipping guy. And then after the Choice job, I got the opportunity to host Who Wants to Be Rich, the game show. Yes. So that was just an advert I saw in the paper while I was still in the shipping. Yes.
Wow.
An advert in BFT, Business and Financial Times. Yeah. Big black chair on the front. I think they took a whole page. I remember there was a black chair. They said, would you like to be the host of international game show? In my mind, I said, yeah, of course.
Audacity.
Yeah. So I just applied for the audition and did something extra. I think I did a little, they said they wanted me to, in addition to your letter and your CV, show a demo of you presenting something. I didn't have any because I wasn't in TV yet, but I had a friend called Nana. He used to work with Greetings from Abroad. He's one of the production assistants. He says, I can set up a studio for you. We need a blue screen. I said, what's a blue screen, Nana? He says, well, we have to go and buy some plenty of blue cloth from Tema Market. So when Tema Market comes to one, bought blue cloth, covered the screen, covered the whole wall like this, your wall here, end to end, up to down. So that became our blue screen. I stood in front of it, and then I presented something. And then at the end, I realized why he needed the blue screen, because he was going to put graphics on it. It's like a green screen, yeah. So put graphics on it. Then I sent it off. Then they called me for the audition. I get to the audition. I'm dressed very sharp, looking like a host. 40 people are there. They all want the same job. Oh, no problem. So I sat down and I started eliminating my competition. So I look at this man and I said, okay, this man he hasn't dressed like in my head, he hasn't dressed like a TV host, because I knew what the host looked like. I did the research online, and you're supposed to wear like monochrome colors. So if you're wearing If you're wearing a blue suit, your shirt will be blue, your tie will be blue. If you're wearing a gray suit, your shirt will be gray, your tie will be gray. Monochrome, one color. So I look at this guy, he looks looking good, but it's not a monochrome thing. I said, don't take you. Another guy, I see him, he's wearing like jacket, no tie. So no, they never take you. Another guy is wearing like a t-shirt. I said, no, but you won't do this show where you go wear a t-shirt. Everything is happening in my head. So I'm just going through eliminating them. Then they call me to come into the room to come and, show them what I can do. I go and show them, go back home. After a while, they call us back for the second round. Now we're only 3. Eliminated 37. And I said, I knew it. All these guys. So I wasn't surprised with like 2 who were left because I knew that these guys, they looked the part. Yeah. So second round, we do another audition and then they go quiet for like a year. So in that year, another friend says, you know what, I'm starting a new TV show in Parliament. It's called In the House. The company was called 3 Heads and a Pen. Interesting. And then, so I'm the host for that show, and we go to Parliament, we interview MPs, and then they edit it together on Sundays after 9 o'clock, they air it on GTV. So I did that for 2 months. And then the people called me and said, we have a final audition we have to do to determine who hosts the show. We are going to Nigeria to go and do it. No problem. So they fly me to Nigeria with my other competitor. Now we're only 2. And basically we have to do the show with a live audience. Never presented anything to a live audience before. So he goes first. And as he goes, I'm not supposed to see what he's doing. So they camp me in a room where there's no TV. I'm there twiddling my thumbs and waiting for my turn to come. So he finishes. Then I also go inside. And he doesn't have to go in and watch because he's done it already and he's not going to learn anything from me. So he watches me and I do my show. And then it's quiet for like a month or so. And then one day I get a call driving around Woolworths. And then I think I had some malaria B. And so, congratulations, you are the host of the show. Charlie, my malaria just disappeared. Yeah, so that began a beautiful journey. That was a three seasons of Who Wants to Be Rich. Oh, man. That show opened, I think, it was pivotal to my career. Yeah. Because at some point in time, I asked the producers, but you guys, why did you select me? What was it? So, first of all, we wanted somebody who was not on television already. So like a new face. So I fit the bill because I wasn't on television. Then he said, both of you, the finalists in the audition, you did really well. So we couldn't separate you. So we took it to a tiebreaker. We went to the crew and we asked the crew, of these 2 guys, who would you like most to work with? And the crew voted for me. And I said, why did they vote for me? Because I still wanted to know. He says, well, they like the vibe you had with them, because for me, it's the natural thing. So I come into a new place, I try and connect with you very quickly. As an MC, it's a skill that you have to learn very fast because it's a room of strangers. And you are the person who's supposed to hold everything together. You're supposed to connect with them very fast. Otherwise, the event will be flat. So I come to the studio, and before we are on, I'm talking to the camera guy. I said, Charlie, so how long have you been? And I speak pidgin. Charlie, so this job, how long you do it for? I said, so in this camera, how you do it? I mean, how you learn? I'm going to talk to the editor. I'm going to talk to this guy. So I'm kind of forming like little friendships. And I still do it when I'm emceeing. So if I'm emceeing an event that starts at 9, I'll be there at maybe 8:30 or 8. And when the guests come in, I'll be introducing myself to them. Say, hi, my name is Kafui. I'm your MC. What are you expecting from today's show? And your name is? Then they tell me their name. And then we have a little chat about what they're expecting. You will see it when we do the Connected Minds.
Wow. That's incredible.
So you get them on your side before the event starts. It's just icebreakers. I think I learned it from my dad. Let me tell you the story of my dad. So we went out somewhere in Accra. It was a very hot day. And on the way back, he says, you know what? Would you like an ice cream? I said, yeah, of course. Yeah, please. So we entered this ice cream parlor on the Ring Road. And the attendant was in a very bad mood. Very surly, unresponsive, not smiling. My father says, hello. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Father wasn't phased. He said, well, can I have 2 ice creams, please? Make them as beautiful as you. Hey, you should have been there to see the transformation, man. The woman's face just, it's like a sunflower opening up. She had this gorgeous smile and she started heaping the ice cream. Vroom, vroom, heap. She went, she probably gave us 2 ice creams for the price of one. Then my father gave that to me. Then she heaped, give it to my father. And then we decided to sit down and eat the ice cream. Just as I was about to take my first scoop, my father said, hold on a second, what did you just see? What did I say? Well, I see ice cream. What the woman served. I said, well, never forget this. People will do just about anything for you if you make them feel the right way.
Wow.
They can do anything. They will lie down, they'll roll, they'll go with you to the ends of the earth if you can make them feel the right way. And then I never forgot that lesson, you know. Connecting with people is something that I think is one of my strengths. Yeah, and I learned it from observation and I practice it too, you know. So I can get people to open up. Yeah, and it helps as an interviewer. Because you get people talking, they'll talk and they say, but I didn't even mean to say all this stuff, but you said it, you know. But I said it. It's because of the questions, you know. And so
wow.
That was an experience never to forget.
And since you've mentioned your dad
yes.
in this conversation here, I want to understand, when you had that full-time job, you were still doing radio, trying to get yourself to be a presenter.
Yeah.
What were they thinking? What did they tell you?
Who Wants to Be Rich was, because I was in Kumasi, they didn't hear me when I was in Kumasi. So when I came to Accra and I got the audition, I won it, I became the host of Who Wants to Be Rich from 2009 to 2012. My mother would let everybody know that her son is on national television. They were proud, you know. They were very proud.
They didn't think, you know, Kafui, you want you to be this, that.
You see, I'm involved in stuff that people look down on, music.
Okay.
I remember I was in university one day and I went to Groovy Club. Groovy Club used to be in Asylum Down, where my father and his age mates used to hang around. So when I got to the Groovy Club, I greeted the people and my father. One of them said, is that your son, the band boy? And my father said, excuse me, he's not a band boy, he's a musician.
Wow.
Yes. My father himself was a musician and he knew that the people were trying to demean what he did and I did, you know. So he's not a band boy, he's a musician, you know. Because I was in a band in school, a reggae band at University of Ghana. It's called Local Crisis. Rocky Dawuni was in that band.
Okay.
He was our lead vocalist. And then Amaziba's younger brother, Yofi Brew, was in it. At some point in time, Nana Thin was part of the group. Kofi K, Adeyobo, Yobai, so many people. So my father was an artistic person. In fact, I found out later on after he died that when he finished, he did music up to A level. And his plan was to go to get a scholarship and go to Rome or somewhere, Venice, and go and become a concert pianist.
I see.
And one of his brothers thought that it wasn't it wasn't a wise choice, you know. But so my father, so my younger brother being like a professional jazz musician, I'm sure my father was like living his dream through him. And I came to Adenta where he lived, and I would find him in his room on his bed. And then my brother would be practicing in the hall, and you would see this big smile on my father's face.
Wow.
You know, that I produced that guy, you know. Yeah, so my father had no problem with the arts. No problem.
So your parents were very open-minded.
Very open-minded. As long as it's legal, there's nothing wrong with being a musician. It's a perfectly... And I used to create jingles. Listen, I used to make money from easy stuff. I remember there was a time I wanted to enter the jingle business. And the jingles are like the music that you put for, it's a good life, open up a club, it's a good life. Or I love vitamin C. You put the advertising message in music because people listen to music and remember it long after the product has gone. So I decided I was going to be a jingle composer. So I listened to Joy FM, and for every advert with my recorder on, for every advert that didn't have like the original music, they just had a voiceover and somebody's music on it, I recorded it. And then I created a song out of it. I will never forget this one. This was from Latex. No, this is Interplast. Interplast had a program, a product called Everlast. They still have it.
Yep.
So I did a jingle for Everlast, like 1 minute, went to the studio in Tema, recorded it. Can I remember it? Welcome to the doors, Everlast. For windows and doors, Everlast. Da-da-da-da, Everlast. The right choice for windows and doors. Dun, 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 Everlast. Da-da-da-da, Everlast. Da-da-da-da, Everlast. The right choice for windows and doors, Everlast. A whole song with the message in it. Put it on CD. And then I went to visit the MD of Everlast. There's one thing I was taught as a salesman. I said, as a salesman, when you go into enter a company, look for the top guy.
Okay.
If he says no, nobody can say yes.
Wow.
It happens with our interviews too. When we talk to the top guys, we get the results.
That was supposed to happen.
We get the results.
Yes.
Because the guys at the bottom can frustrate you. So I went to Interplast, and I think his name is Mr. Haitham Fakri, MD, top guy. I entered his office, he's sitting down by his computer. I introduced myself. I said, I'm a jingle composer, and I have something I would like him to listen to. So I give him the CD. He pops the CD into his machine. 1 minute, I'm quiet, listening to him listening to the music as well. He finishes, he looks at me and says, "You did this?" I said, "Yes." And then he makes a call. He calls the guy in charge of his advertising and says, "I like it."
I see.
They used it. I charged 9,000 Ghana cedis back then.
Okay.
When the dollar was 1 to 1.
So that's $9,000. That's
For me, it was ridiculous because what did I do? I listened to Joy FM. I recorded an advert that was already there with all the information was there. Then I went to the studio, paid for some small studio time, recorded this thing, sang everything myself, played all the keyboards, put it on CD, and took a trip to Interplast and basically sold him. It was just ridiculous. And people need it. People need their messages to be in people's brains all the time. So that's, and I was doing all this stuff and I was contributing to the house because I remember when I started working, my mother said, always buy something small when your salary has come. Bring it at home, whether it's bread or some Milo. Yes, your salary is not for you alone. You know, it's not for you alone. Let people know that there's a worker in the house. You know, so buy something, buy a gift. I remember the first salary, I bought a gift for my people, my parents and things. Yeah. So my parents had no problem at all. No problem. They supported my career.
I think that was very much different to some of us growing up.
Yes, I know that it's not the norm. I hear stories that some parents.
But why do you think it's because your dad was so educated as well?
I think he was frustrated from his career. I mean, he enjoyed his career as a foreign service officer because it took him around the world. He did it for 20 years. He learned French so that he could join the foreign service, and he served in Senegal, served in Burkina, served in Cote d'Ivoire, served in China, served in UK, served in Algeria. You know, it took us all around with him. You know, so I'm sure he enjoyed his career, but I'm sure it would have been on a higher level if he had done what he wanted to do,
right?
Which was the music. Yeah. So, and my parents were. I remember one time before I got married, I asked my mom, "What if I come home with a Chinese girl?" She says, "No problem. If that's the woman you want to marry, go ahead. I'm not marrying a woman for you."
They're very.
So I think it's the not even the education in school, but the exposure to different cultures, different systems. Because my mother lived in different places. She went with my father on every single posting, which is rare for a lot of foreign service people. They don't go with their families. They go on posting by themselves, and then their families are back home. But my father went with my mother every single posting. Maybe he wanted to be sure that his akplen will be served every day. Can't go to China and be expecting akplen.
But now, at which point did you let that full-time job go and say, "Now I want to do"?
So this is 2012.
Radio, TV.
This is 2012. I've done like 17 years as a shipping guy. And one day I'm reflecting. I'm thinking, so I'm now 41, 40. Yeah, I was 40 going to 41. I was 40. Can I see myself doing this for another 20 years, chasing secondhand clothing importers, chasing timber exporters to put cargo on a ship or bring cargo from wherever? I in no way disrespect those who are in those fields because we are an import-driven country. We need secondhand clothing, all that stuff. But I just didn't see myself doing it for the next 20 years, And then I also realized that because of Who Wants to Be Rich, all of a sudden I became more recognizable.
Okay.
You step somewhere, and I always have a policy of introducing myself. And you hear people say, but you don't need to introduce yourself. I said, well, I do need to introduce myself because I also need to know who you are.
Huh.
Yeah. Because I'll say, hi, my name is Kafui, and you are? So, but you don't need to know. I said, well, I need to introduce myself. I cannot assume that you know who I am. I don't, for once, do that at all.
Let me stop you here for a minute. If you've been watching this show, I want you to subscribe and become part of the family. We are on a journey of changing the lives of people on this channel. And we appreciate you for being here. But if you haven't become part of the family, connect with us. Hit the subscribe button. Now let's carry on the conversation. Your mindset is very interesting.
Yeah, no, I don't assume it. I remember dealing with somebody who thought I should know her. She was a government official back in the early 2000s. And I came into the room. It was a studio. I had come to do some work in the studio. I greeted everybody. And I also greeted her. I said, my name is Kafui, and you are? And she was visibly shocked. Because she was expecting me to
know who she was.
Yeah. No, don't assume that people know you. Yeah, do not assume that people know you. So I decided in 2012 that, okay, now I'm getting a lot of recognition. I can actually go full-time as an MC. Because I have a corporate background too, I can do corporate MC work instead of weddings. Weddings only, you can only work on Saturdays and Sundays.
Right.
Most weddings, now they're even doing Fridays. Back then, it was just Saturdays and Sundays. It's just Saturdays. The reception is on Saturdays.
Yeah.
But if I do corporate work, I can work every day. I can do a launch today. I can do a conference tomorrow. I can do a seminar the next day, In the beginning, it was hard letting people know that this is what I wanted to do. But once you get a gig with an event planner, and the event planner likes you, they will either call you back from that event or recommend you to other people. Yeah. So in 2012, I decided I was going to go straight into full-time, going to be in the events industry. Because the Who Wants to Be Rich had ended after 3 years. And so I did that. I remember somebody coming up to me months after I left my job. They were about to give me a new car. I left. They said, Charlie, but how are you doing? How are you able to? So these events they do, did they pay you money? How are you going to do it? I said, yeah, I'm looking after my family very well. My time, listen, an event is 3 hours, 4 hours. I wake up in the morning on my own time, go to the event, finish. By 12, I'm done. Sometimes I have 2 events. So 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. But of course, there are sometimes maybe for weeks you don't have anything to do. And all of a sudden it comes plenty. So you have to learn to live with. So I think I can live with. I'm not worried about uncertainty.
Okay.
Yes, because in the nature of in that work, you don't book every day. Okay. So there are days when everything's quiet. But when the things are quiet, that's when you do your marketing. So I used to write like articles in the BFT, Business Financial Times, about public speaking, because I realized people keep coming up to me and saying, how do you become less nervous on stage? Or how do you deal with stage fright? And so I was writing these articles in the BFT, and then I would sign my name. He's an MC, corporate MC, telephone numbers, and people were calling me from those articles. It's kind of indirect advertising. Yeah. So yeah, 2012 was a big year for me. I just turned 40. I was 40 in 2011. 2011, I was 40. And then January, I resigned from my shipping job, and then I went full time. I was there till Bolare met me somewhere in 2014 and invited me to come and be the host of the Morning Star, the morning show on Star FM. So I was with the EIB group for 4 years to 2018. Went back to my MC and my training and this. So now when I left EIB in 2018, in addition to the MCing, I also added training. So I said, and I remember my cousin David, he gave me like the first opportunity. He got me to come and train members of his association, the Institute of Internet Professionals, Ghana, IPGH. So I did a whole training for them. And then I started training people, one-on-ones, group. I still do that, I still do that. Just 2 days ago, I was with another client, one-on-one training. Yeah, so I've been doing that.
So I had a message from a young man. And he said he's always nervous when approaching people.
Yeah.
Always. As a matter of fact, that guy came to my first mentorship class. And even when he shook my hand,
Yeah,
it was wet.
it's a palm sweaty. He's not alone. No.
So he said,
yeah.
I told them, I put in a group that I've got you coming in.
Yes.
And they said they want some tips.
Okay. I'll give them 5, not just 1. 5.
All right.
If you can spell the word stage, and I use it for my training, you can get the tips. STAGE. So S in stage stands for shift your focus. You know, people who are nervous and shy think that it's all about them. And it's like looking on your phone, your camera mode, and it's always in selfie mode. It's the person you see is you. So they focus on themselves too much. You need to switch the focus. So now the camera is facing, your mental camera is now facing other people. So instead of thinking about yourself and how you're going to fail or you're not good enough, focus your attention on your audience. So I'm come to speak at, I'm a speaker at Connected Minds on the 29th of August. Instead of thinking about myself, okay, so who is the audience at Connected Minds event on the 29th? What do they want from my presentation? How long is my presentation going to be? How do I make it interesting for them so that they will remember it? Because if you speak in public and they don't remember, you've wasted your time. They must remember. You know? It always seems impossible until it is done. That's my guy. The independence of Ghana is meaningless until it is linked to the total liberation of Africa. That's another of my guys. This is my 2 guys who are here. I'm happy to be in good company. You and these 2. You know, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. He's back there. Another of my guys. I'm surrounded by my people, man. This is my home. You know, so speak. So if you focus on the audience, then now you're not thinking about yourself.
Yeah.
God has done it in such a way that we can only think about one thing at a time. You can't hold 2 thoughts in your mind. Try it, it won't work. You only think about one thought, then you focus on another. You can't think 2 thoughts at once. So shift your focus from yourself to your audience. Now, T in stage stands for train your brain.
Right.
Okay. Naturally, human beings, we are pessimistic. Okay. We always think that something wrong is going to happen. When my school calls, a teacher from my school, my children's school calls me, the first thing in my mind was, what has happened to my son?
Oh my God. That's exactly the same thing.
Because you're a parent. The worst thing for a parent is for something to happen to your child.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing. I always feel so sad for and crushed for parents who lose their children, because it's the nightmare of every parent. So when the call is coming through, I'm thinking, what has happened to my son? My mind, you know. So that is us just thinking the worst. But you have to train your brain to focus on the positive when you're on the stage. So it's a bit like you go to the cinema to go and watch a movie. So you buy your popcorn, your drink, you enter the place, it's dark, they play the adverts, the movie starts rolling. You don't expect the movie to be a bad movie. I've never gone into a cinema hall expecting the movie to be bad. So that is the same way on the stage. When you get up to speak, don't expect the outcome to be bad. Expect that people will understand what you're saying. They will give you a standing ovation when you're done. They'll clap, at least. They'll ask intelligent questions. They'll remember what you've said long after you've done it. So that you train your brain to focus on the positive instead of the negative. So that is the T part. And remember, God made it that we can only think one thought at a time.
Yep.
If you think positive, you can't think negative. Okay. So shift your brain, train your focus. A in stage, achieve calm. You have to be calm. If you're calm, you are less likely to be nervous. Yep. So you are relaxed. How do you relax? It's not the end of the world. Okay. You're not going to die. Nobody died because we're about to go and speak. You're not going to be the first person. Okay. If that doesn't help, breathe deep through your nose, out through your mouth. If you do that, 10 reps of that, you will actually feel your pulse slowing down. You're becoming more relaxed, you know. Visualize a positive outcome. You know, you can do your tongue twisters. Peter Pepper picked a peck of pickled pepper. Make yourself smile. When you're smiling, you're less likely to be nervous. Okay? So those are 3 tips. You're not even started speaking yet, because you have shifted your focus. It's all mental. You're training your brain. It's still mental. You're achieving calm. It's also still mental. Now, G in stage, dealing with stage fright, nervousness, is how do you get prepared. Get prepared. So 4 ways to get prepared. Get prepared early. If they give you a presentation, don't wait till the night before. If it's 1 month ahead of time, start as early as possible. So get prepared early. Get prepared often. So practice as often as you can. How long should I practice? Well, practice until, and I'll tell you why you should do that. So get prepared often. So get prepared early, get prepared often, get prepared with an audience. Always rehearse with an audience.
Mental audience.
No, a real audience.
Physical audience. Right.
Get 2 or 3 people in front of you, let them listen to what you're saying. Yes. And then video your presentation every time. Because if you video it, then you will see how people will see you on the stage. People standing in front of mirrors and talking, it doesn't work. Because when you get on the stage, you're not standing in front of a mirror. You're standing in front of an audience. So get prepared early, get prepared often, get prepared with an audience on your presentation, and you're presenting, and always record your presentation. So that's G. Now E, you've done all 4. Now you've shifted your focus, you've trained your brain, you've achieved calm, you've gotten prepared the right way, and now you are going to express yourself. So get a good introduction. That also includes you being introduced. So give you the way you want to be introduced to the MC.
Right.
Yes. So that they focus on what you want them to focus on. Yes. Give that to them. They'll introduce you. Remember that when you're sitting down, once they start doing the introduction, your talk actually starts from where you are sitting to go. You know? Yeah. I see some people, be relaxed. You'll be doing your visualization and things. You know, you get on the stage and then you start powerfully. Don't start with, my name is Derek Abaite again. Because they've said, the MC has said it already. I hear it too often. They introduce the person, then you can say, my name is, I'm going to talk about this. But they said it in the intro. So you come in and you can start with, how many of you would like to beat stage fright once and for all? That's a good question. You even nodded. Other people will be answering the question in their head. So questions are a good way to start.
Statistics.
Yes, statistics is a good way to start. Yeah. And humor. But it has to be relevant to whatever you're saying. Okay? It has to be relevant to whatever you are saying. I'll give you an example of relevant humor. So if it's customer service you're going to talk about. Once upon a time, there was this teacher who always enjoys Saturday Wache in Dansuman. So on one fine Saturday, he got out of his home, went to the nearby corner Wache lady, stood in the line patiently, waiting for his turn. When he got to his turn, he made his order, Wache, Talia, everything. They packed it for him, but something told him to look at what he had been packed. When he opened it in the leaves, he found out that there were extra proteins in the form of worms in the food. And being a polite person, he goes back to the woman and says, Madam, Mommy, sorry, this is what I found in the food. The lady was not very happy with this feedback, and she proceeded to blast him and say, get out of here, you're going to spoil my business. The guy is shocked. He goes back to the corner. He stands at the corner. He opens his watch, and anybody who comes by, he shows them the watch as if to say, this is what you are buying. Fast forward 1 week, the watch woman shuts down. She's now selling oranges. The moral of the story is that good customer service involves responding to feedback, whether positive or negative. Otherwise, your circumstances can change. That was a story I told in about 2 minutes. So I could start a lecture or talk on customer service with this story. So for me, my habit is collecting stories that I can use in my presentations, okay? So you start with a story, you start with statistics, you can start with a question, you can start with silence. So they introduced me and I come on the stage and I did it at Asin Fosu on Monday. I just stand there. The audience starts smiling. Some of them are wondering, is this guy crazy? But I've gotten the attention, and then boom, we go, you know? And then you do your presentation. Listen, if you had 4 slides and you went from 1, 2, 3, and you went to 5 and to 4, no need to apologize. They don't know your slides.
That's true.
Yeah, so don't apologize for anything. Just go ahead, end on a strong note, and practice speaking. You cannot just sit at home, pray about it, do your exercises, and don't speak. You have to speak. And if you have a bad presentation, that's motivation for you to get the next presentation so you can do it better. Yeah. And those are your public speaking nervousness, anti-nervousness tips. Shift your focus, train your brain, achieve calm, get prepared the right way, express yourself. I hope your person will be happy with the tips.
That's amazing.
Stage.
So that's for you.
Yeah.
This is beautiful. And people pay hard dollar
for
this session.
This stuff I give to people.
Yeah, you've actually got a training coming up.
Yes.
I think I saw the flyer. Yeah, you've got training coming
media
up.
interviews.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah, coming up. So people actually pay him.
They pay money for this, yeah.
And you've just gotten this.
Yeah.
For free.
Thanks to the questioner, man.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that was incredible. So I saw him and his hands were very sweaty.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I think people that are so nervous, When they're in a group, you can tell.
Of course. It's energy.
Yeah.
It's nervous energy.
Yeah.
And it's contagious.
Yeah, because people were lined up to come speak to me. And from the corner of my eye,
you could see.
I could see
shaking.
the guy.
Yeah.
And he was letting everybody come.
Yeah. You don't go. Another tip I have is that if you are nervous, you are shy, you go to an event. If you come to Connected Minds on the 29th of August and you are shy, you're nervous, sit in the front. Of course, not in the reserved seats that they may have reserved, but right after the reserved seats, sit in the front. This is why. If you sit at the back and you've enjoyed the presentation and you have a question to ask, the moment you raise your hand and the MC says, "Oh, the gentleman in the green batakari at the back," everybody will turn around and look at you. And then the thing you are afraid of is what will happen because all the eyes are going to be on you. But if you're going to sit in the front, it's just me and the presenter. And everybody's looking, all they see is the back of my head. So sit in the front. Sit in the front.
I wish someone told me this when I was at university.
It's the best place to sit.
Yeah. I always sat at the back.
No, and the sound, if there's no amplification, you're not even going to hear much at the back. But in the front, it is you and the lecturer, you and whoever is there. If you ask your questions, there's nobody giving you attention.
I also think you are less likely to even be caught if you are sitting at the front.
Exactly, because they will look at the people at the back.
Yeah.
Yes. But another thing too, if you are nervous, apart from sitting in the front, when it's question time, raise your hand. Be the first person. Brian Tracy said it. You read his books. He said, if you have 2 frogs to eat, a small one, a big one, eat the big one first. Because you're going to eat the frogs anyways.
Yeah.
So
you might as well.
Eat the bigger one.
In case you get full quick, so you don't get a chance to eat the frog.
So the thing you are afraid, do the thing you are afraid of, and the death of fear is certain. So do the thing you are afraid of, and the death of fear is certain. Sit in the front. Sit in the front. In the beginning, you may write your entire question out on a card or a business card and then read it out. But after a while, a lot of people are nervous because they don't understand how the voice coming out of the PA system belongs to them. Yeah. When they speak in the microphone, they hear it amplified. It's like, whoa, is that me? I don't sound like that. I don't like my voice. I hear people say that. Yeah. It's your voice, man. Yeah.
You see, these days, people are podcasting. There's a lot of interviews going on.
Yeah.
When you go on YouTube, almost everybody is doing interviews.
Yeah.
You've done it for years. Top 5 tips for someone who is trying to go into interviewing people.
The first 3 come from Larry King, who is my mentor.
Okay.
Yes. Another mentor who I've never met. I only experienced him vicariously through TV. Larry King, for those who don't know, was one of the greatest radio and TV hosts. He was on CNN for 25 years. He had a 60-year career starting out in radio and moving into television, ending up online. I'm mirroring it, actually, because I've done radio, TV, I'm now online. 60 years, he interviewed over 60,000 people. If you break it down, it means every year he was interviewing 1,000 people. If a year has 50 weeks, minus 2 for the holiday, it means every week he was doing 20 interviews. If he has a 5-day week, it means every day he was doing 4 interviews, 5 days a week, every year for 60 years equals 60,000. Now, if a man like that is giving me advice, I better well take it. He's more than qualified. More than qualified. He had 3 rules. Number 1, ask short questions. Larry King says, listen, you have 1 mouth, 2 ears. So talk less, listen more. Okay? So ask short questions. I've seen interviewers online, offline, wherever. They'll ask such a long question that when they land, the interviewer will say, what was the question again? It's because the question was too long. There's a temptation to show off that you know the subject as a host that you must avoid. And short questions cure that temptation.
Right.
Because listen to, kids. When my younger son was growing up, what is that?
That's it. Right.
He says, what is that? He was trying to learn the language. So, what is that? What is that? Very short question. I remember Larry King interviewed a general, a US general, Gulf War I, which was in the early 90s. So CNN was covering the Gulf War. They had reporters embedded with the army in Iraq.
Yep.
And every year, every week, every night, Larry King would talk to a US general to give an update on the war. So Larry King starts the show. Good evening, welcome to Larry King Live. Tonight we have US Army General so in the studio. General, what's happening?
That's it.
Okay. That was the question. And the general talk, okay, so we've done an assault against the enemy. We have done this. We've commandeered these troops from here. These planes are coming over. He gives a full. Then like King's next question. And?
Wow. Okay.
Then the general is going. Larry is listening very carefully, you know. Then the last question, he doesn't even open his mouth. Just raises his eyebrows. Man, Larry King is a master. Yeah. You should watch any of his interviews online with Prince, Michael Jackson. He talked to everybody. Gaddafi. He talked to every single body. He talked to simple people as well. The high and the mighty, the low and the good. He talked to all of them. He says, ask short question. Number one, listen carefully. That's number two. Listen carefully. A lot of the times, you see, my theory is that when somebody sits in front of you, like I'm sitting in front of you, the person wants to talk. If I didn't want to talk, I would have said, I'm not free today. So ask the questions. So and so after you ask a question, listen to the person's response. Because sometimes the response will take you to, maybe you're going from A to B, but the response is like a detour going towards X. Yep. Follow it.
Yep.
And then find a way to come back. Because maybe the news is there. Maybe the news is there, you know. And you can only get that if you are listening very carefully to what the person is saying. So ask short questions, listen carefully. Third one is follow up. This one happened to a colleague of mine. I'm sure she'll watch this and she'll smile. So she interviewed, I think, a man of God / musician whose wife died as a result of medical negligence. But throughout the interview, he mentioned it, that my wife died because of medical negligence. Some doctor messed up or something. Somebody, doctor or nurse, whoever messed up. His wife died, bottom line. When he mentioned it, I sent her a message. Follow up. Ask him something. How did it happen? How did you feel about it? She didn't see it. So that's, if I had an earpiece, if she had an earpiece, I would have probably spoken to her, but I wasn't up in the control room. So I think I am also responsible because I had a good question. I should have made sure she got it. So she finishes the interview and the guy is still around. And then I go up to him and say, oh, good interview. By the way, how did you feel when you lost your wife? I felt like burning down Ridge Hospital.
Was it being recorded?
No. This after the interview had ended.
My goodness.
That was the headline. And he changed and he became very emotional. And you would not expect a man of God to say a thing like this. They are the ones who tell you to shedding, God is in control. God knows. God gives, he takes, he gives, he takes. I didn't like hearing those things when my mother had died. That God gives and he takes. My mother is dead. If you have nothing to say, don't say anything. That's Archbishop Palmer Buckle. That is his philosophy. So sometimes people who are grieving, they just need your presence and your silence. Don't come and start quoting scripture to me. I've just lost my mom. You're telling me that God gives and God takes. Yes, intellectually I can think about that, but now I'm feeling it. You know? He said, I felt like burning down Ridge Hospital. And I said, oh, you lost the headline. So those are good questions to ask. What's it like being, and BBC, if you listen to BBC, they ask those questions a lot. How do you feel about? They're always looking, I realize that they're always looking for the emotional angle to every question. You did it too when you asked about my brother in the beginning. You remember? Yes. So they're always looking for an emotional angle. What's it like being, I even missed that question. I was coming here and I realized that recently I interviewed General Anido, who I never asked him that question. What's it like being a general in a war zone? he would have told me things. He would have told me things. What is it like? So those questions, what's it like? What's it like? Anybody in any field, what's it like being a middle brother?
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, I'm in the middle, you know. What's it like being a younger brother or a last brother? Do they bully you? Or no, you see, I made a mistake.
No leading questions.
No.
Yes.
What's it like? Open. So open questions, emotional questions.
Yeah.
Yes, you get people say things. You know, Woody Meyer wept on our show on GTV when he started talking about his father. In fact, for like 4 weeks, anyone when he came in front of me ended up crying. Yeah, because I was asking questions that were really entering the core. Samini too wept when he thought about his friend Sonny Bali.
Yeah.
Yes, that was a very emotional interview. Kafui Dey also, she was talking about the people who send crazy stuff into her inbox, girls who are being abused, and it really affects her so much, you know. Yeah, so those ask short questions, listen carefully, follow up, then ask, stop that, ask short questions, listen carefully, follow up, and then the what's it like questions are really good. Yeah. What's it like? Yeah. What's it like? How do you feel?
How do you feel? That's right.
Those are good questions.
Yeah. No, thank you. Is there anything we could have spoken about today that I should have asked you that I didn't?
That's such a broad question. I don't, wow. My career?
Is something you still think we can talk about, relevance to this conversation?
It depends on what the audience wants. What do your audience want from me?
Mindset, money.
My son was asking me recently how to negotiate. You know, he's in university. He's 20 years old.
Okay.
And he's taught himself how to DJ, how to produce music. So he started with producing. Now he's doing DJing. And he wanted to know how to
negotiate,
set his fees, you know.
Right.
And so I read a lot around that. The one that I saw that was quite interesting was that if you're going into like a new field, say your charges, you want to charge 10,000 cedis, but the people don't know you. And if you if you charge the 10,000, they will ask for a discount all the time. So he says, give yourself 10 clients to get to what you want to charge. So give them and this one I always tell people, even if they are working for free, let them know how much your cost is and discount it by 100%. If you're doing a free job,
okay.
If I charge 10,000, I'll say my fee is 10,000, your discount is 100%, what you pay is zero. So you know my fee, this is what I'm worth. If you tell people that I'm going to do it for free, they disrespect you and disregard you. Let them know that if they had paid, so then they can actually say that they were saving 10,000 cedis. So for the new client, I don't suggest that you go free. So start with a 90% discount. So my fee is 10,000, but I'm giving you a 90% discount because, give whatever reason. So 10,000 minus 9,000 is 1,000. Second client comes, I'm going to give you an 80% discount.
Right.
Third client, 70%. Fourth client, up until you get to 0%. Now it's 10,000. After that, increase your fees.
Okay.
After that, increase your fees. So now go to 12,000, 12 or 15 or 20, whatever. At a point in time, I was increasing my MC fees every quarter. Every quarter, I push it up like 1,000. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yes. So that's a pricing, because people worry about pricing. Know what your target fee is and start from the bottom.
Right.
Start with a 90% discount, go up, just like that. It will also teach you patience.
Yeah.
You won't charge your full fee at the beginning and get rejected. Because people have a way of just slashing your fee. But if you let them know that this is my fee, I'm giving you a 90% discount, nobody who is in his right senses will reject a 90% discount. Yeah.
Motivation or discipline?
Both.
Okay.
But you can motivate yourself. Yes. Give yourself, you don't need anybody to give yourself feedback. I read of this famous person who spent some time in prison. When he came out, he was a concert pianist. No piano, he drew the keyboard on the floor. And then imagine the notes. Came out and was giving concerts, man. So it's not impossible. Discipline is doing what you don't want so that you can finally get what you want. It's as simple as that. So the hard work now, you either enjoy now and suffer later, or suffer now and enjoy later. You choose. I don't like to give advice. I'll just tell you what works for me. And there's some principles. So enjoy now, suffer later, or suffer now, enjoy later. You choose.
Choice is yours.
Yeah, you choose.
What's the best
motivation?
advice?
Motivation. So years ago, my kids came up to me and they were excited because this guy was second, this guy was first, this guy was third. So, okay, fine. It's good. It's good to top your class. It's good to be in the top 5 or whatever. I'm more interested in whether you're progressing. So, are you improving from last term to this term? I mean, if you got 65, which is like a C, last term, but this term you got 66 or 67, I applaud you. You've gone up. The only thing I demand of you is that next term, improve again. Just keep going up. Improve again. So that when you get to the top, it would have been not you benchmarking yourself against some other person, but you're actually benchmarking against yourself. And then you are less likely to be more arrogant because you're on top, or you feel small because you are at the bottom. So always, am I improving? Am I improving? Am I improving? I finished my previous interview and I said, no, I forgot this question, man. Kafui. I should have asked this question. Yeah. So it's always improving. Yes. And benchmarking against yourself. There's a reason that athletes have personal best. So Usain Bolt, of course, his personal best would have been the world record because that's the best in the world. But before that, he got the world record. I'm sure his times were slower. And anytime he goes to the race, okay, I ran 9.73. If I ran 9.72, I've improved. If I ran 9.71, I've improved again. If I ran 9.85, I've gone back. How do I get forward? So I take inspiration from athletes because they're always benchmarking themselves. And if you work on yourself, so I currently work at GTV. I right across the road, right across the wall is TV3. And I find a lot of some of my colleagues are always interested in what they are doing. So they go and look at their Facebook and say, oh, they're doing this. I said, focus on yourself. Focus on yourself. Yeah. You can't control what somebody else is doing. You can control you. What about if somebody, he said, can you always control stuff? I said, what if the person insults me? I said, well, the person insults you. It's your reaction that you can control. You cannot control the insult, but you can control the reaction to the insult. Yep. My dad always said, listen, there are 2 types of insults. One you disregard, the other you work on. If somebody says, look at his big head. What can I do about my head shape?
Nothing.
I can't shave it like a pineapple. I can't. Okay? But if he says, your mouth smells, that one you can change.
Do something about it.
Maybe you have some serious halitosis, or you eat too much garlic. Or you can change. You can maybe change your toothpaste, chew gum.
Yes.
Yeah. So disregard the insults that are going nowhere and focus on what you can change. Yeah.
What's the best advice you've ever received?
If it's worth doing, it's worth doing well.
Fantastic.
My dad again.
Your dad? Wow.
If it's worth doing, it's worth doing well. And no excuses. Either you've done it or you haven't done it. Nothing was built with an excuse. Nothing in this room was built from an excuse. Nothing. Watch? No. Shoes? No. Cup? Bottled water? Nothing. The way you're looking is not from an excuse. It's intentional. So excuses are just like, oh, I don't want to do the work. Do the work. If my father gave you work to do and he came for feedback, there were only 2 responses. Yes, I've done it. Or no, I haven't. Yes, I've done it. Great. No, I've done it. You need to follow up. And this is what I'm doing. No, I haven't done it. And this is what I'm going to do it. Not, I was going to, I was about to, or somebody prevented me. It's an excuse. Yeah, no.
Wow.
No. You should see the people, the interns who work with me. I'm always asking them, what have you learned? And somebody says, I haven't learned anything. Really? The whole day you haven't learned anything? It's always learning. We are learning machines.
Amazing. Recommend a book for my audience.
Same as Ever. It's by Morgan Housel. And he talks about the things that stay permanent while other things are changing. It's a very interesting way of looking at life. And while I was reading it, I was kind of putting quotes on my status and people were connecting with it. Same as Ever. He's the same person who wrote The Psychology of Money.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Same as Ever.
Same as ever. Okay.
Wonderful book. That's the last book I read.
I see.
Yes. Yeah. My kids ask me, what's your favorite food? I said, well, the last meal I ate is my favorite food. So the last book I read is Morgan Housel's book, Same as Ever. I read it 2 days ago.
Amazing.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
I've enjoyed this conversation. From when you walked in. As a matter of fact, I've enjoyed it from when I contacted you.
Oh, my man.
I've learned so much. And
what's one thing you've learned?
Wow. Short questions.
Yes.
And then I take you all the way back to the stage preparation.
Yes. Yeah, stage. Yes.
It's amazing. I'm actually going to apply everything
stage,
for the event.
You can't forget it.
Yeah, I can't.
Yes, the way I structured it, you can't forget it. Yeah.
And also your simplicity.
Yeah.
You know, you're very simple. And I admire that, man.
Once again, it's my folks. So put all the responsibility on my folks, man.
Yeah, they've done an incredible job.
They were simple people.
Yeah,
and my brothers are all like that. Very simple. Nobody's flashy. Everybody knows how to relate with people.
Yeah.
One of the questions that I can always predict from my younger brother ran after me, what books are you reading? What are you reading? What are you reading? Years ago, my dad said, if you walk into somebody's house and you see more video cassettes than books, flee. You have nothing to learn from those guys.
Wow.
See more videos than books. You say flee, man, there's nothing. When I came in, I was looking at your books.
Yeah, and there's more. So a few days ago, I picked up, I went to one of my friends' office. And when I went there were so many books. And I said, you have like 3 or 4 copies of these books. Can I do shopping? And then she goes, yeah. So I picked up 5 books. And then the top one, which I've read many years ago and I've still read, is Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yeah,
but the reason I picked up that book was because I wanted to give it to my 7-year-old son.
Thank you.
So I came home. I mean, he reads a lot, right? But I came home and I was like, son, I want you to read 3 pages of this book. I'm driving out. And then when I come back, tell me whether you got everything. I came back. And then he said, Dad, I really like the book. I'm really enjoying it. And I said, really? Yeah. Do you understand the language? Do you understand? He says, yes. And I said, do you want to carry on? I said, yeah, Daddy. He took it upstairs.
Continue. That's great. It's a good foundation.
I'm telling you, it's beautiful.
I'll tell you a book story. So, these days that the children are not writing legibly. And I don't think it's their fault. They are doing a lot of computer stuff. Yeah. They don't really write much. So I had a complaint from my children were in primary school. The teachers were saying, Charlie, my people, your guys, you need to improve their handwriting. Go and buy them my first copy book. So I went to the bookshop, looked at my first copy book, and I was not inspired by what was in the book. Yes. Who are my heroes? Nelson Mandela, Kwame Nkrumah, Kwejo Agri. So I went and bought 3 books, authored by these 3. I distributed the books to my children. Eldest son got Mandela, second son got Nkrumah, third son got Agri. And I said, every day, just copy out a page from these books. I'll come and inspect your handwriting. Because I was thinking, man, I don't want them to just write, Amma went to eat wachi. I want you, while you are writing, you're also learning something.
In there.
Mandela died 2013. I think December, around that time. We're watching the news on Mandela's death. And then a guy comes up and my son, who by that time is 9 years old, says, I know that man. CNN, I said, you know that man? And the guy's name is Ahmed Kathrada. So I know him. So where do you know him from?
He's in the book.
So well, the book he gave me, I found him in the book.
Wow.
I said it has worked. In my mind, I said it worked. It's not just writing, but you're also learning something. I was so pleasantly surprised. So books books it's a free travel, man.
Yes.
Free travel to anywhere in the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Derek, it's a pleasure.
Again.
Thank you.
Yeah. To my people, if you made it to the end, by all means, tell me in the comments. And thank you so much for staying all the way up to this point. My name is Derek Abaite. Stay connected.